What is up, WWE Universe, and welcome, wrestling fans, to my WWE show review of Friday Night SmackDown from Washington, D.C., August 23rd, 2024. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And Friday Night SmackDown was kicked off with the Grayson Waller effect, as Grayson Waller and Austin Theory would be in the ring to invite none other than the American Nightmare, the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, out to the middle of the ring as their guest for an interview. But after Grayson Waller was really rude and not nice to Cody Rhodes whatsoever during this interview process, we would see Cody Rhodes defend Kevin Owens, stating, hey, he deserves a title opportunity. But what about you, Grayson Waller? Have you been a good friend to Austin Theory and a good partner to him? Because if you ask me, all of us are just waiting on Austin Theory to do something about it with you. But of course, Grayson Waller would cut off Cody Rhodes and show him a video promo that would show Kevin Owens not in the greatest light. After all of the things that Kevin Owens has done in the past with his so-called friends, we definitely did not like this video as far as the way it made Kevin Owens look, and it helped Grayson Waller prove a point. Before, he was interrupted by Kevin Owens, who would come out to the middle of the ring to defend himself and pretty much say, hey, you know what, guys? Instead of me coming out to that ring and beating you guys up like you know I'm going to do, and then you guys fighting me back and Cody Rhodes having my back and helping me out in the middle of the ring, beating each other up before we end up having to get a tag team match later tonight to settle this, how about we just cut all the pleasantries out of here and we ask General Manager Nick Aldis to come out here and make this match official? The crowd would go wild as General Manager Nick Aldis would come out to the ring and make the match official, as we would see Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, and Kevin Owens team up against A-Town Down Under in the main event of Friday Night SmackDown. But Kevin Owens wouldn't leave without getting a little beat down on Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, and with the help of Cody Rhodes, they send a message before their main event match later on in the evening. And we would see next up after this our first match of the night, which would be LA Knight, defending his United States Championship for the first time on Friday Night SmackDown against Santos Escobar, who would be joined by his faction Wingardio del Fantasma, who would get involved in this matchup before the bell would even ring, as they would jump LA Knight trying to get advantage for Santos Escobar. But this would not work out, as the ref would throw out the faction, as Wingardio del Fantasma would be banned from ringside, and LA Knight and Santos Escobar would get it on in the middle of the squared circle, as these two would leave it all in the ring, really putting on a show there for the fans in Washington, D.C., before we would see LA Knight, get the victory over Santos Escobar and defend his United States Championship for the first time on Friday Night SmackDown in his old hometown, where he lived 20 years growing up just outside of Washington, D.C. And we would see shortly after this backstage, Santos Escobar was not happy with his faction, Wingardio del Fantasma, as he is telling them off of how disappointed he is. But he would be interrupted by Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews, who would come in and laugh their butts off, as Corbin would pretty much say, Apollo, is that how you earn the respect back, man, with a match and performance like that? And Escobar would interrupt, pretty much saying he will get this disrespectful talk handled next week, as he plans to go talk to General Manager Nick Aldis and get a match next week against Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. Woo! It'll be interesting to see what happens on next week's Friday Night SmackDown. And we would see shortly after this, guys, a 6-woman tag team match, as we would have the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Unholy Union, Alba Fry and Isabel Dawn, also teaming up with Blair Davenport, as they would take on the team of Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. And these women would put on one hell of a show in the squared circle, leaving it all in the ring, as we would see the crowd going wild before Naomi would get the victory over Blair Davenport as she gets the pinfall. Man, what a tag team match, as these teams were awesome. And we would see shortly up after this, backstage, another meeting of the minds, as we would see LA Knight getting interviewed before he leaves the arena, talking about where he grew up, getting pumped up for his first title defense, after that Friday Night SmackDown match, and he would announce to everybody that next week on Friday Night SmackDown, he's having an open challenge for the United States Championship, and man, I cannot wait to see LA Knight defend the title once again. And who's going to answer the open challenge? We will all have to wait and see on next week's Friday Night SmackDown. Woo! What an awesome show so far. As we would see next up, Solo Sikoa and the New Bloodline would approach the WWE Universe and come out to the middle of the ring to address the crowd, as Solo would say 3 things, WWE Universe, after he asked Washington, D.C. to acknowledge him. Of course, the new tribal chief. Right, ain't doing that, pal. And we would see he goes, step number 1. Your original OTC, your original tribal chief, is D-O-N-E. Done. And then he would say, second item, is whoever wins at Bash in Berlin, whether that be Kevin Owens or Cody Rhodes, just know that Solo Sikoa has next, as he plans on bringing back the WWE Championship to his family and bringing honor and restoring honor to the bloodline. And then we would see third thing on the item, as he would tell Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, that he is now the new enforcer for the tribal chief. As the enforcer for the new tribal chief, he will no longer be the WWE Tag Team Champions, as he was told to hand over his title to Tonga Loa, who will now be half of the WWE Tag Team Champions, as the new bloodline would then be interrupted by none other than the challengers for those tag team titles, the Street Profits, as they would let them know that they are not ready for what the Street Profits are going to be giving the bloodline in their title match tonight, and that the Street Profits are up and they want the smoke. And of course, we would see our next match of the night, as it would be the Street Profits, Montez Ford and D'Angelo Dawkins, taking on the WWE Tag Team Champions, the New Bloodline, as they would have to defend their titles against the Street Profits. We would see the Profits put on an electric match for the WWE Universe, just like every time they step in the squared circle. We would see these guys light up the crowd and light up the lights in the sky, jumping high, slamming down low, but it would not be enough, as the New Bloodline would get the victory in this one after Solo Sikoa would distract the referee, and after creating a distraction, the New Bloodline would take advantage and defeat the Street Profits in this one and retain their WWE Tag Team titles. And after this, we would see Solo Sikoa really make a statement by beating down the Street Profits after this match, so much so that DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa would come out to try to save and help out the Street Profits, but they would end up with the same fate, as Solo Sikoa, with the help of the Bloodline, would take out all 4 of these men, both of these teams, and Solo Sikoa delivers a Samoan spike to DIY. Man, left them all laying in the center of the ring, and now Solo Sikoa builds momentum before Bash in Berlin, just a couple of weeks away. Whew, what a scary scene there on Friday Night SmackDown. What's going to happen? We didn't see Roman Reigns on this Friday Night SmackDown, so are we going to see Roman Reigns back next week or the week after? We'll have to wait and see what happens, guys, because this New Bloodline and Solo Sikoa are making a statement. And then we would see shortly after this, guys, after this WWE Tag Team Championship match here, and up next we would see backstage, as Kevin Owens would ask the American Nightmare, hey, you didn't really believe that video earlier that Grayson Waller showed, right? Like, you still trust me? You still want me to be your tag team partner? And you have to admit that a lot of those people in that video kind of had it coming, besides Kofi Kingston, right? And of course, Cody Rhodes would say in WWE Championship fashion that, hey man, I can only take you by your word, and then kind of act and react to what happens after that. And of course, Kevin Owens would leave a blank look on his face, leaving us all to guess about maybe what would happen later on that evening. But we know that that's not Kevin Owens' style for what he would be doing there, as far as stabbing Cody Rhodes in the back. I think maybe not this early, right? I don't think we're seeing a Kevin Owens heel turn turn anytime soon on that one, folks. You know what I mean? And then we would see backstage as we would see a crown being fixed by none other than Pretty Deadly and Tiffany Stratton kind of helping the boys out, giving them direction before they would be interrupted by none other than the queen of the ring, the WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax, who was not too pleased after what happened last week with her and her celebration getting ruined by Michin, who also got a WWE Championship opportunity last week because of it. So upset, she says, Tiffany, the one thing you can do for me is fix this crown, after Tiffany said, oh queen, what can I do to help you? So after this, we would see that Nia Jax heard Chelsea Green and Piper Niven talking a little bit across the hall, and she would hear everything that they have to say as they think that Tiffany Stratton is just using Nia Jax and eventually is going to stab her in the back when she cashes in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Nia to win the WWE Women's title. But Nia Jax would have none of it as she tells Chelsea Green and Piper Niven to zip it and get the heck out of here, away from her. Because, hey, Nia Jax is a little intimidating, so she scares them off. But we would find out shortly after this that there will be a WWE Women's Championship match next week, as Nia Jax will have to defend her championship against the challenger, Michin, in a street fight. Woo, for the Women's Championship. Woo, WWE Universe, get ready for this one, because you know Nia Jax in a street fight, that one's going to be good, especially with Michin challenging her. And then we would see our main event of the evening, as it would be Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes teaming up to take on A-Town Down Under, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And we would see one heck of a match back and forth between these two teams, but we would also see a little bit of old school KO with a big pop-up powerbomb and a stunner for Kevin Owens to get the victory for his team in this one over Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, as KO and the American Nightmare would celebrate their victory afterwards, with Kevin Owens grabbing the title and handing it to Cody Rhodes in a very awkward, sort of really aggressive way, which all led us to believe that maybe Kevin Owens' heel turn was about to happen. Was he going to hit him with the title? Nope, he just hands it over to him and everything looks okay. No worse for wear, but this leaves us all to question about what's going to happen next week on Friday Night SmackDown. The last SmackDown before Bash in Berlin the following night on Saturday night. This is going to be epic, as it will be the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes defending the WWE Undisputed Championship against Kevin Owens at Bash in Berlin. And man, what a Friday Night SmackDown we had from Washington, D.C. This has been your WWE show review from Tim Reynolds Show. Please like and subscribe to the channel for more sports content, WWE content, and sports entertainment right here on the Tim Reynolds Show. Thank you guys for all the support. Peace out, everybody, and enjoy your day. Let's go.